All right, check, 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 audio test. Great. So it looks like we're streaming live here. Before I get started, I just want to make sure I can share this key, and I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Share the stream with others who may want to participate. Seemed really early, really easy the first time I did this, and now I can't remember how it's done. Uh, yes. All right, so I'm live anyways. What I'm going to do here real quick, just let's see. I'm just going to go here and let's see if I can live now. All right, there we go. So if I click this, Control C, I should be able to save this. Of course, I'm missing the open on gold. That's okay. And just going to save this and share it on Facebook. Apologize for the delay here, folks. Not really sure how to share this prior to. There we go. All right, here we go. Come on. So 1 minute, folks. Post. Let's see if that worked. Looks like it worked. Now I need to share. And now I need to go to Twitter and post it there. Tweet. Boom. Done. Twitter, Facebook, and I don't know where else to put it, so let's just go with that. All right. So I presume I'm going to do double check here, just make sure it's working on the other computer. Yep, it is good. Only a couple seconds latency-wise, so it sounds good. That's it. Let's get started. Oh, that's my stomach growling. Okay, so it is currently 5:21. It took me a little bit to get this all organized and running, but it's up and running. Good morning, everybody. Hello, friends, fellow traders and investors. Welcome to On Point Stocks and Options Trading. Don't think anybody's in the room just yet, but just so everybody knows that this is for educational purposes. And, this live streams is for educational purposes only. This live stream going to be analyzing the stock, options, and futures markets for educational purposes. And although I will be setting up trades examples, these examples are for discussion and for, geez, are, uh, although we'll be setting up trades, examples and discussing them in this live stream video. These are for educational purposes to create learning environment, and all trades involve risk, of course. Make sure that you understand the risks before ever setting up a trade. All right, so let me quickly, I haven't done any of my prep work. I thought today I'll do some prep work in front of everybody, which leads me to looking for opportunities. So right away, the first opportunity I can see is this one right here as an opportunity. But I still got to go through the rest of the charts. We're looking at the S&P. S&P obviously has been working its way lower. Couple nice levels on the chart here, and I'm not saying nice levels as in boom, it's going to touch this level and it's going to rocket up to the moon. I mean, there will be an obstacle here. It's a low volume level, and obstacles can create opportunities for a 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1 or more, right? Just like these are going to be obstacles when price reverts back up to the high here. Price not moving? Oh yeah, okay. It's just super slow right now. Let's take a look at gold. Gold just opened up, unfortunately. So what happened with gold? Okay, so we had a couple levels in gold yesterday. First level did not work so well. Second level actually gave a pretty nice bounce off the first time around, and then second time around another bounce, third time another bounce. But that level is used, so let's get rid of that. We're still in that downtrend on gold. It hit that top trend line, dropped quite nicely. I remember putting this level in yesterday, and price has not yet returned there. All right, so as for gold, you're not seeing my cursor bounce around on the screen. My bad. Sorry about that. Had a couple levels in over here, and yeah, my bad. I'm looking at the wrong screen for you here. I got too many screens open. All right, so anyways, there was a couple nice levels here. Used up. No, they were, yeah, right there. And now we've got, why is it not transferring to this screen here? Let me take a peek. It's really strange. I can fix that. That's really strange. GC NYMEX. I'm on a continuous volume contract here. Maybe that's a difference. Let's change this real quick. Ah, fascinating. Let's erase that and redraw that one. All right. I just, like I said, transferred everything over here. And it looks like there's still a little bit of bugs to work out of the system to this new platform on this new computer. Let's try and redraw that then. Let's see if it works this way. Oh, I see what the problem is. I see. That zone is just off the screen. It's right here. There it is. Okay, so no problem there. Price actually has set up a level down here, which has already been used. Yeah. Okay. So gold momentum's already picking up. Hasn't gotten back to where we want to get in. This was a nice level, already been hit. So we're not going to look at gold just yet. I'm trying to scout through real quick to see first of all if we can find anything that's right away setting up. So looking at copper here. Copper is trending down here on the 15-minute. There's a level from before down at this area here, which is a low volume level. And then we see copper. Nothing clean in copper. Okay, we can come back to that one there. Let's look at oil quick. Oil. Let's take a look at oil on a 15-minute. So oil on a 15. Man, how does that? That was a nice run up yesterday. Yeah, it's come back and already touched this level here. Just a prior pivot high, pivot low. Resistance point right there. Now it's kind of popping off of that. Overnight level. Well, the one thing for sure we can say about oil is there will be something happening when price returns to this area. So let's take a better look at that. 30-minute. I'm just jumping through some time frames. I should be doing it on this screen here. 60. Yeah, so there is something there. It's a high volume area. We're going to keep that area up there and also set an alert prior to that area. So should price return to that level, we'll keep special eyes out for it. I want something in this area here, but the only area has already been hit. It's this right here. Yeah, but that's been fully used up. So that one's no longer valid. All right, so get rid of that. Second here. All right. So nothing there. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at this area, though this is a low volume area. All right, so what we can do here for now is this. I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to set up a, because I like this, but we're not yet set. So I need to see this alert get triggered here. And if we get a pullback, a retracement to it, then we'll take a second look at it. But for now, let's move on and just quickly scan over the different markets and see where the money's flowing. So we got nat gas here. If I go to a 60-minute chart, you can see nat gas has been in a pretty nice uptrend. Mark that in. That trend channel has reversed on natural gas. There it is right there. All right, so it's bottomed. It's had its initial push. It's had its pullback overnight. It's having a second push today in nat gas. And you'll expect this. I mean, if we look at this on a 240 minute, this thing has just been going down and down and down and down and down. So, you know, it's lost a third of its value since last month, and now it's starting to retrace. It's probably going to get a fairly large push. You can see on a 240-minute chart right there, there is a level overhead. 240 right in here, this area. Got a level right there. Another level above that. And this is going to be counter trend levels. So um, I'll be watching this on a daily chart to see if there's these levels confluence with anything like a 50 moving average or anything like that when they get close there. But in the meantime, the only trade on nat gas is going to be to get long somehow. So we're just going to have to watch nat gas for any type of opportunity to take it in the other direction. 520, just looking at this, 15-minute, 520. All right. Okay. So that's nat gas. Let's go to a 5-minute. And there is this hiccup right here, but happened pre-market on the 5-minute, and we'll throw that lines on there. I don't know if it'll even give us a pullback there, but let's put that there and let's set an alert just in case. Oops, that's not gonna work. It's gonna go off immediately because it's still in that same candle. We'll set that up after. Okay, let's quickly take a look at the euro. Euro has been what? Low volume gap up. On the 21st. What we're looking at? March 21st. Oh, contract rollover. So we had a contract rollover. That's why. gapped up. This is a continuous volume contract, so let me just quickly roll this into a non-continuous. Might not have the volume here we want. No, we're going to need the continuous volume contract. All right. So basically just in a range. Nothing much happening here. Let's quickly take a look at a 15-minute. You know, what can you say about this? It's pretty obvious. The only obstacles to it going higher are right around there. I mean, this is the obstacle to it going lower right there. It's a pretty wide obstacle. We're just right in between that range. Yeah. Okay, so not a whole lot here right now. Let's go to Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar going a great uptrend. Everything is looking good. It's now had a pullback. It's actually had a double leg retracement here on a 240 minute. So let's pull that up. So a double leg retracement back into a buy area. So need to look for a long position here on the Canadian dollar. Pull up the 15-minute chart. And there are some levels that look really sweet. Got a level there. This level was already hit. Yeah, it's already gone. So this little level right here on a 15-minute was hit and gave a 2-to-1 bounce, you know? And that's it. It's counter trend. Once it starts breaking below these moving averages, and you're now fighting the moving averages, and that's all that happened. 2-to-1, 2-to-1, couldn't get higher, then they pushed through. So they're going to get to this level today and the level below it as well. The only qualms about these levels is the time of day. This one here happened at the open. So this is going to be a reason to get long Canadian dollar right here. So we're going to look for that retracement. Probably use a limit entry on this one. And as for supply, I mean, there's no volume in this at all until we get up over here, which has already been kind of beaten down a little bit as price came close to it. They sold early, 2 ticks early, in fact, 1, 2, which they'll probably do here as well, a few ticks early. And they'll just use this pivot line, which is going to be right here. Where's my pivot? Which is going to be right around here. And that's exactly what they did already. So let's see if we get a second leg down. If not, we'll have to try and get in on the long side continuation of the trend once it's reversed. It may not get all the way down to this demand level, but we'll give it a try. All right, so that's Canadian dollar. Let's quickly scooch that out right there. That's where we're at. Okay, good. Back to S&P. Okay, so kind of did the rounds. Those are all the contracts I look at. And just put my glasses on. I'm like, why are my eyes kind of bugging out? That might be why. A couple more things I got to do here. Just bear with me a second, folks. Let's do it this way. One sec. Trying to think if there's any other way that I can post this, but I think that might be it. You got to spell check before you post simple grammar mistakes. All right, just 1 second here. Oh, it's not what I wanted. Let me see what just. Okay, just give me a second. Voice stocks and options, an online education site. Oh. Today's live stream YouTube trading event went well. It didn't post. What the heck? There we go. All right, now just for the heck of it, close this down and close this down, and let's see if this link works. Looks like it worked. All right, good. Everything seems to be working. Just technological challenges. And this, I don't need this open anymore. Good. All right, let's get back to work. Got to figure out how to schedule these live stream events so they just start up automatically. Make it a little easier. Still feel like I'm missing something. I didn't go through my usual checklist. Oh yeah, I haven't even checked economic reports. So busy doing other things. All right, let's take a look here. Economic reports. What do we got? All right. Core PPI, Michigan capacity utilization came out 530, had zero effect. PPI. So price index up 1%, 0.1%. Pretty low. Consumer sentiment today, not a whole lot. Nothing. Yeah, that's done. Don't need any of that. All right. Markets are moving really slow. You'd almost think it's a holiday. Not a whole lot of action happening as we speak. Right now we got the S&P on the 5 minute just consolidating around its moving averages. If we go to 15, you're going to see that it's that was interesting. How did that just happen? Nope. Let's go to 15. 15. Still just playing right around those moving averages here. Bounce is not the kind of bounce that you want to really sell. Not to say it won't go down, but it's not the type of formation that you do on a moving average. Just got to give it more time to see what it wants to do. Now on a hourly chart, it looks very clear that there is some action right here. It's taking place. Let's quickly get rid of these pivot lines. Oops. Where it's got a really nice candlestick setup. But look at the volume through that whole entire hour. Incredibly low. So, and now we noticed yesterday that we had that exact same setup, and that zone, that level turned out to be, what is it, pulling this up here, chart values window, not the chart values. That level turned out to be very, very good. Tools value window. So in this hour, there were only 12,000 contracts sold. That's not so bad. That's for an hour, mind you, compared to an intraday. Let's say here, what is this? 226,000 contracts. Intraday over here was 50,000 contracts. So not great volume. But we've seen yesterday how low volume area moved the chart really, really well. So is it possible it could happen today? I guess, of course it could. I believe it was right over here somewhere. Yeah, this really low volume area knocked the chart right out. And then it came, it hit it again, it hit it again. Really, it was the entire area, but that was a very low volume area. And it's not common to see it work that well. Although, what was the trend? It was down. And it had just come off a big rally. So it was exhausted on the upside. We talked about the exhaustion on the upside and how that can affect the movement of the chart. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. So it pushed back down. I'll be right back. One sec. All right. There we go. All right. So it looks like it's come back into this level right here. And this is where it's reaching some resistance. It's giving it an obstacle. Again, an obstacle, not necessarily a reversal. Getting back above the moving averages here on this 5 minute. Again, though, the other moving averages are all above, and those are all going to be obstacles. So we'll keep an eye on it. There's no setup at the moment. I don't have any levels I'd want to put in at the moment. There is no trend continuation setup at the moment. It's just kind of hanging out with no real movement. Let's do a recap. Let's look at gold again. All right, so gold, which has opened, is breaking above its trend line that it's been holding for quite some time. This is a good sign. This creates an opportunity right here. As these trend lines break, maybe able to make our way back up there, but also look for a long opportunity. Sorry. So that trend line's been holding for a long time. Now they do tend to break and fail sometimes, but we start breaking this thing down to the smaller time frames. What do we see? Christ, I gotta stop hitting that button. There we go. Break it down to a smaller time frame. What do we start seeing? We start seeing this trend continuation right here. We're on a 1 minute chart, mind you, right now, but it's pushing. It's pushing higher. Now it's also exhausted, mind you. It just spent all its energy trying to get through this level, confluencing with this trend line. So pullback imminent, possibly. That means go to a higher time frame. 5 minute chart. Moving averages, everything is supporting price. Go to a 15. Here we have some room to pull back. Could pull back. That would mean back inside the trend line and a potential failure, or just bounces on those moving averages and continues. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Again, there's no low risk setup right now. Just got to wait. We have time. Copper. Copper is actually on a 15-minute chart looking like it's not looking too bad. Let's break this down to a 60. So it has extended down. It's been bouncing on that trend line. several times. There's a nice little level buy level right there as well, which has been holding multiple times on the 60. 240 looks like. So 240, it broke out of its trend and is pushing itself back up, and that trend line's been holding, that level's been holding. 120 minute, it's at 50 moving average. So this is the trade time frame that the trade's taking place on. It's on a 120 minute. So we're basically ping-ponging between this 8 moving average here and the 50 moving average right there. One of them's going to break. Let's bring it down to a 60. Moving averages are inverted, but we're still above the 50. So we need the 8 and 21 to get below that 50 to really start influencing price. And price is below. It looks like it will get there, but it's going to take some time today. Might be sideways for a little while longer. 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. Moving averages are active and pushing price lower. You can see that this level is still holding. They're still buying at this level. They're buying, buying, buying. They're buying more. So it's going to come down to who has the deeper pockets. The algos, which are selling at the moving averages, or the buyers who are buying at this price level in copper here. And if you look at copper on a daily, I mean, or even a weekly, geez, this thing's just been going straight up forever. Could definitely say it's overvalued. It needs a correction. All right, so let's break it down to smaller time frames. We go 15, just sideways. No evidence yet. Let's go 15. Let's go 10. You know, I don't want to sell short in front of this level, and I definitely don't want to buy it. So, you know, the smart move right now is to just say, yeah, it looks like it's setting up for a sell for short, but the smart move is to say, don't take it. It's just a higher risk endeavor that's not necessary. So there's no setup on copper. Oil. Oil came back to that little level right there. Let's take a look at this on a 15-minute chart. Whoops. Yeah. That's that overnight level that formed right there. Oops. Make this a little more accurate. Is that on a 5-minute chart that we drew that? 5-minute, 15, 60-minute? Which alert was that went off? All right, so oil. Trying to figure out how that line even got there, because that line does not. Oh, we were anticipating oil breaking below this. This is it. It was setting up, but it hadn't completed, and it actually did complete when it broke below the pivot low, but only by a tick. And now it's pushing back up. I get it. I'm like, the formation isn't complete yet. That's why the alert was there. All right, so oil's been in an uptrend, and this is the reversal pattern formation here. There's a nice reversal candle right here on a 60-minute, and on a 30-minute chart, you can see that some buyers came in and pushed price up, but really it was a low volume push. Oil doesn't open up for another 7 minutes, and 7 minutes before the open, where's the volume today? There's nothing happening. 7 minutes before the open, I'm not interested in opening this trade. We did yesterday and we did well. I think it was 330 or something off of that trade yesterday. There it is right there. right before the open, and then it completely reversed. And not necessarily interested in taking it today just because there is no prior clean setup. It's just kind of chopping between moving averages. So we're going to leave that one be for now. Can't believe it's already 6. Okay. So 6 a.m., 30 minute, 15 minute, 5 minute. All right, we'll just wait. Watch the open. All right. Nothing there. Let's see how this opens up. Be nice to see it get below that 46.63 or somewhere above this 62.92. Well, I can tell you right now, it's an overnight area, but this is going to have an effect on price. And so I'm going to put in a alert line right there. Whoops, wrong line. Got an alert line set. We have another one set above that as well. This is a level on top of a level. This level triggered this level, which triggered this level. And of course, they're overnight levels for sure. But this one had a pretty nice move away, and that created this trend. And so I like the look of it. It's kind of like, you know, right here created this trend, and that created this move right here. So I'm going to keep an eye on that level right there. Mind you, this is an intraday level. This is overnight, and I can label that overnight level. Globex. There we go. Just as a reminder, it's my alarm going off saying that oil opens up in 5 minutes. So oil and nat gas open up in 5 minutes. We're pushing back into that low level. Really never confirmed for us, unfortunately. But that's okay. Let's take a quick peek at nat gas. Nice, nat gas has pulled back a little bit. It's too bad it's right before the opening. Let's take a look on a 15 minute. That looks good actually. 30. Yeah, it's triggering on a 30. Let's go back to a 15. I like that nat gas level. So we'll be watching nat gas and oil at the open here in exactly 4 minutes. Momentum in the opens oftentimes can push price through levels, and that can be a bit of a pain in the butt. Just want to measure this thing out here real quick. Wow, such a small range. Let's go back to oil. What's oil going to do on this open? $11 ticks. Okay. They're both valid. Euro's doing nothing. Just chopping around in that zone, in that range. Figure that one out. So sec here. There it is. It's coming down to that level. All right, there's only so many eyes, only so many things you can watch at once. And the focus is going to be natural gas. Get rid of this pivot line. We don't need this anymore. All right, natural gas. We're gonna get a second leg push down. Oil. Oil's got a ways to move before we'd like it. Might even say that oil has a level right here. Again, these are all low volume levels. Doesn't mean they're going to be tradable. Oh, I see it. It's already drawn on there. Yeah. On a 5 and a 15 minute, they're both visible. Redraw that level on the 15. There it is. Okay, oil opens up in 16 seconds. Sitting inside of this little zone, that's what's messing me up. This chart is not transferring lines to the other charts. That's where I'm getting confused. Okay, no problem. I can fix that. All right, oil and natural gas are open. Looks like natural gas is dropping. Going to give a shot to that level. Open range breakouts on oil and natural gas can be pretty powerful. Well, oil can be pretty powerful right first thing in the morning. And so I'm watching this on a few different screens here, just FYI. Nothing. Seems really strange. There's zero volume and there's no real major news coming out later. Today is Friday. Everybody called it an early week, I guess. Wow, tight range. Natural gas may not make it to that level, that buy area. And oil's just doing nothing. Well, fall asleep. Gold's still working on that. This is looking really good on a 5 minute right now. There's plenty of range to move up to that target area. Liking gold. Have to keep an eye on that too. Copper, nothing really. Oil, looks like it's going lower. Natural gas, holding itself. So oil's dropping off that little tiny level, overnight level. Tiny bit. I need to set up on gold here to take it long. Not really giving it yet. Let's take a look back at oil. So strange, moving so slowly. Basically not moving at all. And this is why I trade options as well, so that I don't get bogged down trying to force stuff to happen when nothing's happening. Just nothing is moving. So the S&P actually is, well, it's got some pretty steep obstacles to get through. This is a good, decent level right here. So taking a look at the S&P, it's an overnight level right there, but that is a valid level. Mind you, we've been consolidating prior to the level, so we might get a push up and then a push down. Levels on levels are challenging sometimes because you don't know if it's going to stop here, is it going to go up to here? Give us something to look at while we're waiting for everything else to actually make a decision. So oil's still working its way down. Natural gas is building a base. Euro's not there, CAD's not there. Basically just hanging out. Oil's the only one that's actually starting to pick a direction. So this pivot low right here is where it's going to be the obstacle for oil. It's been trading in this range and it's now just forming itself an inverted, or sorry, a head and shoulders pattern, which means this would have been an actual decent setup. But look at the reward. Well, 80, 68, something. $240 in a couple contracts. It could clear this area pretty easy if it can get down below that. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. Let's see if that happens. It's really kind of in the middle of things right now. Nat gas doing nothing. All right, so oil's pushing. We're going to set short oil here. Definitely not taking that much risk. And kind of not the greatest area, but it's building its momentum to the downside. So it looks like it's going to take its run at this lower area. So I'm just going to quickly screen print. This is me forcing a trade. That's what happens when you start to get bored. You're like, come on, something. So I journal everything. Screen print every single transaction trade for later review. Let's take a new one. Boom, right here. Continuous volume contract. Pay attention to everything always. There we go. All right. Almost looked like the charts completely stopped. And now alerts are going off. All right, where were we here? That must have been, oh, natural gas is in that zone. Okay, so let's see if natural gas gets a reaction from there. Where was that alert? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong screen. Nope, we weren't going to touch copper. It's not there. It's still not breaking that level. It's going to go. There we go, natural gas. So natural gas and oil are, they kind of move in tandem with each other. And if oil's pushing down and I'm short oil and I buy natural gas, what I'm actually doing is taking profit from one trade, putting it into another. Kind of like hedging my own position. So one's going to work, one's going to fail probably. Well, we're up 80 bucks. We need to see this break. This is not a winning trade yet. This is not working as planned yet. These targets are just default targets. They're not necessarily where I want price to go. Natural gas is showing some strength out of that level. Just give me a little bit of time. Not really in any rush. I want confirmation. As picture perfect as that level is, it's even a pivot area. Still want some confirmation. It may make it down to here. And if it does, that's even better. That will show the oil trade's going to work, which it's working. And the natural gas trade will probably take place at a lower level, which would be even better. So the stronger the move to the downside here, the better it will be for the long side move. But it's holding. Look at that. Come on. Sell, sell, sell. Have to be aware of this right here, this 60-minute chart. Look at what we're selling into. This is the challenge. There's just so much happening on different time frames at all times. And so selling into a 60-minute hammer candle. I'd like to see it to get to this 50 moving average though. It looks like that's where the trade is taking place, is on a 60-minute chart. If I break through the charts, I go 240. Was an 8 moving average right there, but we've already pierced it and closed below it, and now price is trading lower. Could see that candle turn black, and that would be really good. 120-minute chart. We have the 21 EMA right there, which is just below price. And we've pierced it once, so we don't know for sure if it's active or not. Go 60-minute chart. This is the chart I'm hoping that price is going to be active on and make it down to this 50 moving average. We'll see. 15-minute. Now we know the 50 is active on this one because it's been pushing, 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 pushing. We're a little ways away from that 50 right now. We don't want to hold through a retracement. The 20 and 21 are not active, not doing anything. 5-minute chart. This is where it starts getting interesting. Did this crossover here turn those moving averages on? Are they now going to become active? Look at that. Are they now going to become active? We're below the 50. Where 20 and 21 are inverted, but they're above the 50. So we need this candle to close low to pull them down. 5-minute chart. Yeah, so that's where we're at. So could this trade fail potentially? Are we in too early? Is it stop correct? There's so many questions. Natural gas is just building a bit of a base inside this zone. It's a 7-tick wide zone. And we now have to ask ourselves, we have a 1-minute chart that says, hey, it looks like it's going to go lower. 5-minute chart says we're kind of in between. 15-minute chart that says, nah, we're likely going to go up. This is trading. That's why there's risks on both sides of trading, always. So the better trade would have been to take it from the original level. We'll see. It all is going to come down to the moving averages. If the algos are kicked on the moving averages, there should be a reaction. There is nothing. No reaction. Okay. So be it. We'll probably get stopped out on this trade. Yeah, again, not a good setup. All right. So natural gas is holding or isn't holding. What is natural gas doing? It's got this overhead level of resistance, this little sell area, which is going to serve as an obstacle. Gold is pushing. Yeah. And there's the tricky thing about gold. Now, the opens typically, they pick a direction and they tend to go. But, if we kind of look at it from this perspective, you got to look high to low, pivot high to high, pivot high to low. basically you could say we actually opened from here or started there and ended up down here, which is a full 24 ticks. And now it's in the process of a retracement of about 15 ticks. So will it retrace the full 24? I guess we'll find out. Natural gas, strange because now gold's pushing up and natural gas is holding back. Let's take a look at the other charts. Still nothing happening there. Gold is still pulling back. Looks like it had a push on that 5 minute, but now it's pulling back again. We need one more candle to form on this one. Pushing up. No trending moving averages. We were hoping they were going to get trending. The moving averages were inverted, but still below, but they were still above the 50. Yeah, so that was, in itself, that in a nutshell, that wasn't a great setup. We're right now just whipsawed out inside of the consolidation range. It would have made more sense to actually have taken that level where we were kind of more to the extreme of the consolidation and the stop loss could have been put in a more appropriate place. This trade's just not working. It's just holding. It's not actually moving. It's going to fail. That's set up. Okay. Euro's now pushing higher. Interesting. That might wind up leaving us a setup. So take a look at this euro in a 15-minute. There's no setup. Nope. Forget that. Interesting. The continuous volume chart. Versus the non-continuous volume chart. Let's take a look at this. Let's change this to why am I getting different chart settings here? Let me just quickly take a look at this. None. 30. None. 30. Yet the charts look completely different. 60. I'll have to figure that one out later. This one just says, oh, I get it. Not giving me the data. Yes. Let that one re-download. Still not giving me the data. All right. Not sure what's going on there, but I'll have to fix that one later. There we go. Strange, very strange. Okay. Gold. Next candle's forming, looking better. Copper, still not a tradable instrument there. Oil's little retracement is now pushing back up. Okay. And natural gas is actually holding on that level, damn it. Oh, okay. So Not a whole lot happening here. S&P is setting up like it wants to go higher, but I don't like the idea of entering a trade into these areas right here. Erase this until I get that issue filled out. I'll put them on this chart. So we're actually approaching that area, and the fact we formed a little base here right before it kind of tells us that it's going to have a hard time breaking. It's going to have a hard time giving any kind of reward off of this little level. It's actually looking like it's going to push back off that level. All right, so it's 20 minutes into it. I need to get started on scanning for some option setups here. I know it's Friday once again. I thought I kept saying Friday yesterday, and on Fridays typically there's not a whole lot I do in terms of setting up new trades. Sometimes I'll put some new ones on, depends on the position in the market. But what I will do is I will scan anyways for opportunities. And hopefully I can come across something interesting. Hey, Os Oksana. Oh, hey, how's it going? No worries, Oksana. It's been a really slow morning. There's been very little happening. And there may be a delay in the volume. So between the time you type in a question or an answer to the time that the audio reaches you, it may be a slight delay in there. I'm noticing the latency issues. Okay, perfect. I'm still new to this streaming thing and it's kind of got me a little messed up. I moved everything to a new computer for this and it's been a challenge, but that's okay. That's okay. So let's push this down here. Let me see if I can, just trying to rearrange my screen a little bit more so I can get more real estate. There we go. And I got to open up something here. I'm going to have to open and move this. Where am I going to move that to? Okay, I'll put it up there. Nope. I'm just rearranging some screens here so I can see everything I need to see this morning. There we go. That works. Perfect. All right, J&J. Mikey was asking about J&J yesterday, and it's extended. That's all I'm going to say about J&J. Looks like the S&P is pushing up prior to the open. Looks like oil's kind of holding at this level. Natural gas is, yeah, it's a fake bounce. That's exactly what I was concerned with, was the resistance overhead here. This little level that was going to give price an obstacle to going higher. Still got a feeling this thing wants to go a little bit lower. There's nothing saying that on oil though. Okay. Um, yeah, crude oil, again, we discussed this yesterday. Crude oil, it just doesn't to me make any sense that it's going higher right now because, well, I mean, the only reason it's going higher is because the US dollar is just completely coming apart at the wheels. Um, but you got higher unemployment, higher initial claims, higher continuing claims, and coming into Christmas, there's less driving. There's going to be more traveling around Christmas, but less driving in the winter. And I think oil is really just going up right now because it's the inverse to the dollar. Just kind of if the U.S. produces a lot of oil and the U.S. dollar value drops, then they got to raise the price of oil to compensate for the lack of income, just a hedge. And so oil's going up, and it probably will go up higher. You're right. This may be, on the 60-minute chart, this may end up turning into a zone right here, and that carries price higher in the longer term. But I got to sometimes take my bias out of it because I believe oil shouldn't be this expensive. But that's just my bias. All right, so that little level here did work this morning for a short. Our entry obviously did not work as we were anticipating the breakout on the open, but it never worked. And so that was a failed trade. This is no longer relevant. And now we'll see if it gets up that second level. Now, in the meantime, it's also in the process of creating a oh, opportunity right there. If we get a pullback, we'll keep an eye on that one. Now it's getting into, oh, Oksana, did you by chance, how did you get into this room, by the way? Did you go to Twitter and click on the link? Did it open up to the room? Did that work? I guess is my question. Trying to figure out if I'm doing this correctly in terms of sending out the links and stuff. So kind of as expected, that nat gas little level on nat gas kind of failed. So it would have been good for, a nice little 7-6 tick move, but you know, I guess a one-to-one move. Now what's going to happen is the question. Euro's pushing up. That's good to see. There's no level formed other than down here, so there may be an opportunity on Euro. I'm having a hard time getting my charts to read accurately on this side. 21, 21, 30 Globex. Continuous volume. Man, I really do not understand why this chart is not reading the same way as the other chart. Okay. So liking that level on Euro. Can watch for that. Canadian dollar's flat. The US, the ES is actually pushing into this zone. I think this zone's going to fail. I think there will be an obstacle, but I don't think it's going to reverse price. Let's quickly take a look at where the SPY is going to open up. Changes to a 24 hours, show the extended market. Looks like we're opening up flat or close to flat. Oh, we're looking at J&J. Jeez, we're down. Okay, so the SPY is opening up down, which reminds me, I got to start up my other platform. Just one sec. Sorry, just got to boot up a different platform here, folks. Just be one sec. All right, you. There we go. This market opens in 5 minutes. Dismiss. Okay, so it's loading up that platform on a different computer. Yeah, oil's failing. It's interesting. Natural gas must be failing. Yep, natural gas is failing. Okay. Euro's pulling back as well. Must be getting a rally in the dollar. And gold is failing this time. Interesting. Okay. All right. 3 minutes till the open. Let's take a quick peek at this right here. So 3 minutes till the open. The S&P did push up to that little level, one tick before it turned, pushed back slightly, and now it's probably going to plow right through. The open momentum comes in 3 minutes. We'll see what direction it goes. I mean, there's going to be some obstacles here, but momentum can push, well, yeah, it's been a pretty long stretch, and it's already starting to get parabolic here. I guess we'll see what happens. So YouTube notice. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so everything's opened up. Scanner's running. We're just waiting now for the open. Gold pulled back to inside the moving average, which is very common. or inside the trend line, which is very common. Did we have a level on gold that we were looking at? There's really no setups like I usually use today. Just trying to find stuff to make it work. I mean, that's already hit. All right. Gold, copper, right into that level like we talked about. And right back up again. See if that continues. Oil, just still chopping in a range. Nothing for certain. Natural gas broke its level. Kind of expected. Right to that 50 moving average. Euro dollars not back yet. CAD no setup for a while. So it's all on the S&P today. 29 with 22 seconds to go. I believe the recorded session is still there, if I'm not mistaken. Let me take a peek. Yeah, there's a recorded one that's still there. I had set like sessions that were scheduled, and the scheduled links did not work. That's what kind of screwed everything up yesterday. So I just removed both the scheduled sessions. I got to figure out how to make like individual keys. All right, so this is plowing through that level kind of as expected. Let me see my open trades here. Coca-Cola took a gap down, strange. What did I just buy? MDT. So where is MDT? I had a limit order out to buy MDT with options. Wow, I got it on a pullback. Whoa, S&P rallying. Jeez, too many things at once. All right. So MDT filled. Oops. Pull back here. Let's hope that setup continues, pushing higher because it's not the prettiest fill. It kind of got below that 821 moving average, which is not what I was expecting. So got a decent fill on the chart, which is nice. I just got to post that real quick. I wonder if I got a better fill than I was expecting. $430. Cool. So I got long the MDT March 19, 2021 call option. 21, it's the 2021, where is it here? 115 call. For $4.30. Let's take a screen print of this real quick. Let's quickly journal. Sorry, the journaling part is what takes time. All right, snip. Okay, done. All right, so MDT is pushing nicely. Looks good. My Dow setup's kind of holding here. Nike's pulled back nicely. NUM Friday. Do I have any other outstanding limit orders set? Nope. Okay, everything looks good. Platform. All right, everything's fine. Good. Okay, let's take a quick peek at the futures. So the S&P did push through that zone as we kind of expected it was going to, and it came right to the second one, and there it is. That's where the obstacle came in. Gave a nice pullback, and now it looks like it's going to drive through. So S&P wants to go higher. I don't see a setup at the moment. Look at the different time frames. No, because here's the obstacle, right? Buying into this is just no bueno. So not going to do it. Not going to get caught in that trap. There just simply is no setup. Gold is starting to come back up a bit here. Good thing about gold, aside from the 240-minute chart, it's above all the moving averages on the other ones except for the 60, in which case it's above, but they're inverted. So gold, the volume's starting to come back in. It looks like everybody took a late morning this morning. And I don't yet have a pattern set up. And as a moving average trade, there's just nothing. So nothing on gold. Copper. Oh, copper is pushing lower. So it actually broke through that level we were looking at. Let's take this to a 60-minute. Oh, it's still not getting the data on this chart. What is going on? It's just not giving me 10 days. There we go. That's a bit better. Took all that time to figure that out. Wasted. All right. So copper. It's finally plowing through this level. It's got free reign right down here. I mean, it's got a little ways it could go. It's already too late, damn it. But that's okay. This sets up an opportunity for a sell short. Should price give us another retracement? Let's set that up. It's going to be looking at right around this area here as a sell short area. Let's put an alert on that real quick. Right there. Okay. So keep an eye out for the short. If the new trend's starting, oil, look at oil. Chopping high to low, high to low, high to low. Just wasting time. Never broke out. Yes, that is irrelevant now. Let's get rid of that. Natural gas. Kind of what we thought it was going to get down to that 50 moving average, and it did. That little zone held for a bit of a pop, maybe 2 to 1. But 2 to 1's just, I mean, that's fine. Nothing wrong with 2 to 1. but this still is not the move that we're looking for. We need that reversal, and we don't have a pattern on the chart yet. Nope, none of the time frames. We're basically just chopping between moving averages on different chart time frames. So nothing there. Euro did not make it to the demand level, to that buy level yet. And this chart's not giving me the same information as the other ones, unfortunately. Oh, no, let me just take a look on a 15-minute here. Nope, 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 it's definitely different. Why is that different? Why does this chart look different from this one? 30-day, 2019, volume, continuous, none. Change this to chart settings. So if I take this off, continuous volume, it goes all wonky on me. So I do not understand that, but I'll have to fix it. Still working out the bugs after having rolled this platform, which is a very technical platform, into the new computer here. So what do I say? So we're still working out the bugs on that. I do like this level though. See how it works when it gets down there. All right, so S&P is still pushing and pushing up against that supply level at sell area, which we're not taking because these areas are not healthy overnight areas. They're kind of big messes. And right now it's basically just picked a line and it's holding here. No definite direction just yet, other than it's going up, but it's consolidating within this range. Take it to a 5-minute, 1 minute. Yeah, it's on a 5-minute. Overnight levels. All right. Okay, so not a whole lot happening here. Let's just keep an eye on that. Let's go back. MDT is working out fine. Start taking a look at some charts. Ooh, space setting up. Not bad, except for that 50 moving average right overhead. Oh, sorry, that's KIM. Western Digital's looking okay. Twitter. Get rid of this. Don't need the overnight data anymore. It was just basically to let me know where it's going to open. MDT. Wow, look at that. It's insane. $300. Just take a quick peek at this general purpose database platform designed for running applications and scaling across broad range of access to the cloud on a premise of a hybrid environment. It's primarily a subscription-based package. It's been losing money, losing money, losing money, losing money, losing money. So this is where I don't understand. This company right now costs $321 per share. It has a market cap of $19 million, 60,000 shares outstanding. And take a look at this. This is what irks me about these markets. Losing, 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 losing. Hey, losing twice as much as normal. And then look at the chart. This is a negative 69 PE ratio. This company is losing money hands over fist. Return on equity, minus 100%, right? Minus 100. Return on assets, down $15. Operating profit margins, down 35. I mean, there's nothing good here. Cash flow per share, down 74 cents. There's nothing good, and yet look at the numbers. Come on. That doesn't even make sense. It's not even on a trajectory that it's getting better. Yet it's trading at $321 a share. This is where this new market environment is just gone completely insane. It doesn't make any sense at all. So there's my rant. Makes it a lot more challenging to trade because of this. Fortunately, it's made trading more frustrating. Well, that one's not happening, is it? Not at all. Something just happened. Did a news event just take place? Look at the currencies. Something just happened. Capacity utilization in Canada came out. That was 15 minutes ago. There's something that just affected the markets. Not exactly sure why it's made that big move like that. But we are in a nice level on the CAD right now. A level with volume. I'm going to buy this. How big is that level? Let's get rid of that. Erase. There's absolutely zero reaction so far, which is never encouraging. How wide is that level? Let me just take a peek. It's only 8 ticks. It's nothing. It's going to plow through to the second level is the question. What we'll do is we will go to 1. Took too long. It's okay. So back it down half a position and add one more if it comes down, if it goes down a little bit lower. So scale into a position. Let me just quickly journal. What is this? This is not BC Edge. Okay. So let's quickly set this up. So I'm just screen printing and just quickly journaling real quick. It's always good to be able to review trades. And when you want to review and you don't have the journaling done, it makes it challenging. So I think this thing's going to probably push lower. It looks like it's kind of given an entry and then kind of the hesitation on the actual initial push really kind of, that's not encouraging when you see that. So let's move this down. I want to measure some risk here. Let's see what we can afford. Just for example purposes. $22, 220 on one. That is a lot of risk, considering the reward potential may not be there. Although that is a nice trend. I mean, that is a pullback. In the context of that trend. Go to a 60-minute. Pullback in a trend. 120, right on that 50 moving average. Look at the overhead. resistance it created though. Wow. Yeah, not a great setup. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so let's let this one do its thing. The S&P sold off a bit, so it looked like there was some sellers in this area, and that's why it was chopping between there. The buyers were buying, the algos were buying, and the sellers were selling. So what direction is it going to ultimately go? Who knows? Oil's probably still stuck in. No, it broke out of the range. Look at that. Interesting. Will this area hold a second time? I mean, that's a great area. Held the first time. I wonder. I don't think so. It's pushed pretty deep in there. Well, at least now oil's given us an opportunity here. There is now a level to sell on oil if we can get back there. That's only a 5-minute level though. Yeah. All right. So everything's happening later in the morning today. Ideally, would rather see it happening earlier with the futures anyways. Um, Checking a few things here. It's interesting. Perfect. All right. Where's the CAD? Yeah, look at that. This is what happens when you try and swim upstream. Counter trend trade. Well, counter the small trend. See what happens. We'll look at. Okay, so let's go back to here. Whew, look at that thing go. Unbelievable. So this one's setting up. It's extended on the weekly below the moving averages on the hourly. But it is a nice pullback to the 8 right there. Logitech. I think we looked at Logitech yesterday. It was on my list as being a potential. Logitech is setting up. I think I'm going to buy Logitech on a Friday. 87. I'm going to put a limit order in to buy Logitech. So how to do this? A couple different ways. Let's go to Logitech first. So Logitech. I'm going to take this thing out to open interest. Let's take a look here. Volume, Logitech, $90, you got a 40-cent spread on a $90 contract. It's at 89, 90 is the at the money, so we're going to look at that one. And I'm looking at 189 days, so I'm looking at the June. Now, I could go to the March. Ooh, a lot of volume on the March. Actually, let's 98 days. Yeah, let's go March. So we're going to go March 19, 20, 21 expiration here on Logitech. And looking at the 90-day contract, it's 710 to 750. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chart this contract on an hourly chart. Pull that chart over so you can see it here. And what this is going to tell me is what has Logitech been trading at in terms of price for this option. So we can see right here it's at 720 right now. Yesterday it was as low as $6.18, 620. So it's $1 higher than it was yesterday. And the day before that it was as high as 771. So right now it's not too badly priced. It's kind of towards the high end of the range. I'd like to go back a few days and try and see, 5 days ago this thing was $5. So I want to go back a few days and see if I can try and pick it up at a lower price. Now, where did it trade yesterday on the chart? So let's go to the daily chart here. Let me just make this smaller. So yesterday on the price chart, we were trading down at around 87, 89, 88. We're a buck higher right now. So that means yesterday at this price level, we were getting into that option for about $6.30 when it was somewhere in this range, as high as, and the day before, when it was between 89 and 88, it was anywhere from 750 to 620. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an order in to buy Logitech here at around 650, which is to the low end of the range. And there's no guarantee, obviously, that's going to fill. Just move this away from here a bit. No guarantee that's going to fill, but it just gives me a better. And sometimes on the opening volatility, like you got today with MDTs, you just get that fill. It just boom pops up and fills it. But rather than buying it at the high and then suffering a pullback as it still consolidates a little bit longer, I'll be getting in at an average lower price. So I'm going to set that for 650. So I'm going to put a limit order in here to buy Logitech 650, which dramatically reduces my risk in this trade. I'm going to set this limit order for the bid. Let's go down from there. 650. Right there. So limit order buy Logitech 650. I got to make sure to change that to get to cancel because it may not fill today. I'm going to screen print this real quick. There we go. Just got to put this in a Word document. Make sure I got the right one. And again, there's no real huge rush because it's an options trade and it's a limit entry. It's a lot less stressful. Okay. There we go. Now let's submit the order. Take a screen print. Transmit. And now we don't need this anymore. Let's get rid of that. I'm going to put an approximate arrow where I believe it will be that I get filled if it gets filled. It's going to be somewhere around this area here. I'm going to take a screen print. So on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or whenever it fills, if it fills, I won't need to be stressing out about I don't remember what I just did because it's all right there for me. Done. Logitech. Let's take a look at our futures. What's happening with the CAD? Oh, good. Nice. Oh, wow. $65 profit. Woohoo. Still at something. in futures, I mean, you take what the chart's going to give you. If it's going to give you $65, if it's going to give you $165, if it's going to give you $1,065, whatever it is, just take what the chart's going to give you. That little zone's working just fine. So on the S&P, we're still just chopping. There's no decision yet. Gold, it pulled back really deep. Oh, nice. Look at that. Oh, it's set up too. Okay, that's all right. God, I'm so hungry right now. Just realizing I haven't eaten anything. All right, so something there on gold. Um, that's setting up for a later trade right there is what that is. What's happening on copper? So copper broke down through that little, should be looking at this chart here, through that original zone which held multiple times and came to a lower area. This is a pivot line. This is not a zone. This is a pivot line right there. And it's giving a little bounce off of that. I'm not interested necessarily in taking this trade, but I would probably take that short. Oil. Oil came off that demand level and rallied, so it did hold again. And it's in that supply zone level, that sell area right now. Let's take a look at that. Again, middle of the range. What do we think of this zone? This sell level. This distribution level. That's a good word. So the volume's decent. It's a good time of day. It's not confluencing with any moving averages. I'd say it's a 50-50 shot that it works. The fact is it's in the middle of the range, and that's really where the problem comes in because in the middle, not not great quality. So yeah, let's see what happens here. The 240-minute chart's definitely saying it should go higher. Five-minute chart, 5-minute, 15-minute. This is only a 5-minute level. There's no other chart that actually shows that level at all. And that's not good. 1-minute chart. Yeah. So typically, ideally, I'd like to see the level on 3 separate time frames, and that's not counting a 1 minute. A 5, a 15, and a 30, valid. 15, a 30, and a 60, valid. But a 5 and a 1, it's a lower probability. Osaka yesterday session. Which one are you in, Mike? Did you take the options trade or the Canadian dollar trade? Yeah. So there you go, and that's why one session time frame only, not enough. And there's the challenge. So try and make sure the zones are appearing on multiple time frames. SPY's catching a bid here. Looks like it's starting to bounce a little bit. Set the limit entry. Let's do a little bit more scanning for some option setups, as there's not a whole lot. Let's quickly take a look here. Natural gas is having a nice bounce on a 15-minute. I don't have any chart setups. There's no setups. I'm trying to like force trades. Where's that CAD? What's it doing? Still pushing. So here's where the resistance comes in CAD. So right now it's up, pretty decent move in the context of a downtrend. And so this would be the ideal place to take profit right now, like the safe place within the range of this moving average. And so let's cancel that trade out. Flat. All right. So out of the Canadian dollar, as per the trend, if I had a second contract, I could let the second one run. I took a half position on this one because I was thinking it might push to the second level because there's two really good quality levels and it never did. And that's just a little safety thing. And so out of that trade, let's lock that in and record it for the documents to review later. And Mike, if you're not doing this, you should be doing this. I can't show it on screen here because I have all my account information on it, but I always keep Word documents of the trades as they're happening, what I set, why I set it, and then I screen print the whole process. So at the end of the day, I'll take another screen print of this and I'll commit it to this document so I can see the end of the day effect. And what I notice many times is I always get out too early. I get out too early and then price continues going. Locked in the safe money. All right. S&P looks like it's going to push to the upside. There's a picture level here, but this isn't an actual level right there. It is definitely the picture of a level. So I can draw that on right there. But it's an overnight low volume level. Doesn't mean it won't have a reaction. Everything can have a reaction. Sometimes a reaction is all we need. So let me just take a look at something here. Strange, it says that Mikey answered a mess, but it doesn't show him as being in the room. Strange. Okay, so I'm still talking. Don't know if anybody's in here because it's not displaying. I see people in the chat, but it's not displaying them in participants. So let's continue. CAD, yeah, see, look at the CAD pushing higher. That's okay. Euro pushed through that level and then continued higher. And interesting. Crude oils come at that level. Yeah. Showing some weakness. Copper looks like it's returning to that level. Oh my God, my legs are cramping up. I need one of those Versa desks. Let me stand up. Oh, so you guys are here. It's strange. I don't see in participants. It's really weird. Oh, I'm not used to sitting for so long in one spot. I'm usually moving around. Good. Coca-Cola is rallying. That's Coca-Cola. Let's take a look at this. This is one that got into yesterday. Had a bit of a gap down this morning, but got back above that moving average. Looking good. It's kind of what we're looking at on Coca-Cola. Let's do some scanning for some options trades. Are you, Oksana, are you a futures or are you a options trader? What is it that you are dabbling in? Look at that setup. That's a beautiful setup right there. It's just too high off the moving averages here. For me anyway. Okay. Futures. Okay, great. Good, good, good. Oksana, look at that. Another perfect setup. So Oksana, I don't know if you watched yesterday's, but and there was a lot of just trying to figure out technical stuff yesterday, so it wasn't the greatest interesting thing. But one thing that I mentioned here is one of my favorite setups, and this is relation to options, but it can be, anything that you learn in regards to analysis can be transferred to any asset class, is this trending asset holding on the moving averages, right? You get a pullback that's deeper, right? Deeper pullback on the hourly chart. You'll see a pullback like this, where it's back below the moving averages and then it pops back above and it shows that it's going to hold. So they're becoming active is what it means. Typically, I'd rather see the 50 hold here, like basically like right here, what happened over here, which was this pullback that we're looking at. You seen how the 50 held? It held. It got back above. It even gave another test. This is why it's proper, proper stop placement is very important. But it even gave another test, and then it got back above, and then boom, that's when the next move comes. So right now, this BA Boeing is actually setting up for a potential big move based on the chart pattern. This is exactly identical, right? You got the double bottom, the break up. This is on an hourly pullback, break back above the moving averages, and from then the algorithm kicks on because it's all based on computer algorithms. That algorithm kicks on, and here, let me just magnify this a bit so you can see it clearly. Just that algorithm kicks on, and then look, every time it touches that 8, it holds, it holds, it holds, it holds, and then it picks up, and then it's a 3, and it's holding, and then it gets too stretched, and you got to take profit. And it's basically doing the exact same thing. You got the, it's called the double leg retracement. You got the 1, 2 leg retracement, entering into a double bottom, double bottom. Then it has the breakout above the moving averages. The breakout above, the pullback to retest that low, which stops everybody out who's got stops too tight and anticipated, and then the next move. And it's basically repeating that exact same thing right now. 120, yeah, 8 and 21 EMA, and then a 50 SMA. Now, what I'm going to do here, I don't generally, this Boeing, I don't like trading the airlines personally. Doesn't mean anything. It's just, I don't honestly think that things are getting better right now in terms of where we're at. But no, this is good. Okay, so what I'm looking at right here, can I pull this up? No, it's got the account information on it. Here, let me just do this. So what I'm looking at right now, and I'm not telling anybody to take this trade. This is all for educational purposes. Is it showing the account? No, good. I'm looking at the spread. So right here to here, this is what's important to me. Blue, can I change it to blue? Blue, there we go. 30.15 to 30.85. This is on a $240 call option. So that's a really nice tight spread. Open interest, 2,000. Plenty. Contracts traded, 21. No problem. So the open interest is really what's important, that they have lots of open interest and the spread is tight. Now, not just spread tight on this particular contract, but it should be across the board. Definitely less than 10% because if it's more than 10%, you're going to get slipped so much on the spread itself. So Boeing is setting up. Now, where's my challenge with Boeing? My challenge with Boeing is this. It's trading at $235. So my stop loss is going to have to go down at 227. And that's almost 10 bucks. So there's $500 of risk on a single contract. And that's more than my allotted risk in an options trade. So Boeing, at least at this price level, is simply out of my range to for my options trading. So I can't take it. I don't take it for that reason. So as much as I love the setup, there will be others. High yield corporate bonds, actually very similar setup. The thing I don't like about high yield corporate bonds is there is resistance overhead. Yeah, so there's no price potential, no profit potential. We got AMAT, Applied Materials. This one's all-time highs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row of straight higher highs. Let me take a look at this fundamentally. Earnings is half what it usually is, half of 2018, 2019. Let's take a look at quarterly. Quarterly, yeah, they're doing well. Validate this price level? Maybe, probably not, but they're getting back above the moving averages as well. This one's a little bit different setup. One of the things I don't like about this setup here is look at the hourly. Look at how close that, this 50 is basically right around the moving averages here. It's just like looking like it's ready to plow those moving averages and maybe even cross. So we need that push up to get that next leg going, and it hasn't really proven itself above that double bottom yet. So not yet, but applied material will be added to my list. So we'll be watching that one. Let's quickly take a peek at the futures. And let's see how high the Canadian dollar has gone without us. Yeah, and this is, one of my big things. If I'm scaling into a trade, one of the risks are, you get in a half a position and not able to let the second contract ride. And coming into these resistance points, I would not have honestly expected, um, and all the moving averages pointing down, that it would have done this. Of course, it did the exact same thing yesterday. So, um, yeah, that's just one of those missed opportunities. That's okay. I mean, not missed opportunities. I mean, you make money. You never complain about making some money, but you got to make, it's ideal to make as much as possible. Natural gas is shaping up and it's starting to look nice. 15-minute chart, 60-minute chart, 120-minute chart. Yep, natural gas is looking good. Okay, we just need an entry opportunity. All right, so overhead resistance on a 5. What the heck is going on here? I got alerts going on left, right, and center. So it looks like the market's beginning to move. Where's my alert going off here? Here it is. Copper. So what does this tell us? All the commodities are moving in tandem, which tells us that there's higher forces at work. What we have right now is we have it looks like a drop in the currency probably. I don't even have to look to probably know that's true. Yeah, US dollar starting to head back down. So a drop in the currency. KO, DT, sorry, good. Is driving and propelling up the other markets right now. Copper. Copper should be on a 5-minute. Right up to that supply level. Didn't quite get there. I was hoping to get to that 50 moving average. Never made it. Okay. Gold. Whoa, gold's in our supply. Dang. This is a high volume supply level too. That's a really strong push up into it, mind you, but let's take a look. That should have been a sell opportunity to quickly measure risk. 49.7, 48.6, 47.9. It's too much at this point. Damn it. Oh well, just bad timing. Still, it's going to retrace to the moving averages and from there it'll bounce. So we'll probably get a pullback to 80, somewhere in this range or somewhere down here, 1845, and it's going to bounce and it's going to push back up. And, hey, maybe it bounces on the 1-minute chart. So either it's going to push through or it'll give a second opportunity. And this will be the candle that's going to tell us. All right, so there we go. I'm going to take that risk, see if it works out in our favor. That's good. That's good. All right, so let me quickly journal this. 5 minutes. Hope we don't get stopped out before I get a copy of the screen print because gold is strong. lately. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Look at that. Son of a beehive. All right, let me quickly journal this. Why is it doing that? Come on. All right, so that zone did not work at all. Let's take a look. What's around that area? It's just that zone. Okay, what's going on here? I gotta take a look at my other charts, just a sec. Trend is just strong, it's going up. So what we need is this right here. There we go. Is that on a 5? So it's 5 minute. So this is supposed to be a 15-minute chart. There we go. You see? I'm still mixing up all my charts. Got too many screens here. That zone, here's my problem. Thought that was a 15-minute. That zone's appearing only on one time frame. There's a better zone here, obviously. So I'm gonna put that on the other chart so it carries over, which appears on multiple time frames. Got that on a 15. Whoops. Right here on a 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart, 60-minute chart. 1, 2, 3. That's just too early is all it was. That's okay. All right. All right, we'll have to wait. We'll keep an eye on that one still. Still working in the trend. All right. Copper's touched that level and it's now starting to move slightly. I don't like that exhaustion move to the downside. Let's push up into an overnight level. No, it's not an overnight level. It's pretty decent. It's just a lot of candles in that level. That level does not appear on a 60-minute chart. Whoops. It's not on a 60. 15, it's there. So this is on a 15 and a 5. What about a 30-minute? Yeah, clean, not on a 30-minute now. All right, let's go back to a 5. Let's take a peek. I think gold's pushing higher. Yep. Let's take a look at this chart. Oops. So gold's back up there. This is a high volume time of day. There's 2 of them. There's one right there and there's one right here. Is this one on a 60? 30? Yep, it's there. 60? Nope. So 30, 15, and 5. So these are both valid levels on 3, on a 30, a 15, and a 5 minute. Let's watch this. Look at how strong gold is. Jeez. Come on. Push in deeper. Push deeper. Just kind of stalled out. There we go. Still high volume on that buy side. Man, they're working hard to get through that level. New candle. Take a quick peek around. Copper still holding at this little tiny level. Nothing really happening there. Come on. One more push up. Tell me we're going to miss this one. That's sometimes it. Sometimes you pick the one on the left and it's the one on the right. How's the S&P doing? This thing finally making a decision. Pushed up a little, pulled back a little. Pushed up a little, pulled back a little. Still just hanging out. Is it going to do something? Yes or no? Hmm. It's one thing for sure is that, you know, a pullback to this level is going to have a higher probability than selling at one of these levels just because of the direction of the momentum. Momentum's up. Like to have seen a pullback sooner to this level, but off of here to here would have been an ideal setup, and then continue from up here. It's going to create a level in between likely before it gets down there, which will create an obstacle to the long side. But that would have been the better setup just because that is the momentum right now in the market. It's pushing higher. All right, and so as this slowly unravels, that's not what I wanted. Let's put it right here. And that would be the move we were looking for. Okay, so Missed that, and this copper level is going to fade. It's going to fail back above the 5 moving averages, or the moving averages on a 5 minute. It's just creating a base before it goes through. That's okay. That level was not that great. Oil levels done nicely. And this overnight level here, which was formed at midnight, which is valid, but it's a midnight overnight level. Again, lower quality is all. I don't have any really, really good setups. Even gold just won't go down. It's holding on this 1 minute chart. There's a lot of power in gold right now. Maybe shorting is not the best idea. All right, let's take a quick peek. Option setups, AMAT, IPG. Another nice setup. You know, one thing about the options is they're a lot slower. It's kind of nice, more relaxing for sure. Talking about gold to 1860. Yeah, I've got that level on there as well. Let's see. 1859, 1860. I mean, there's a few different levels. There's a level right above 1860. But you know, whenever you get, I'll show you here. Let me pull this up. Need this on a 15-minute. Whenever you get a trend line break like this, oh, you're always going to get a retest, and there's a retest. And then your first pivot high after the break will become an obstacle. And this is the first pivot high. This level should have never been here. That was a mistake. I didn't go through my time frames. It's kind of a little different trying to do all this stuff at once with an audience. But yeah, this first pivot high should always serve as resistance. Now this is a little bit unique because that pivot high is a move that was created from this pivot high. So you could say this is not a fresh level anymore, or is this a new level? I'd say by the move it's a new level, so it will have a reaction. And it's having a reaction, not a big reaction yet, but it looks like it's setting up to go lower. So that's kind of where we're at. It's, you know, this is setting up. I'm taking this trade. So I'm going to take this short. Unfortunately, it's not anywhere near the zone or where it should be. I'm hoping I don't get suckered into a volatility move back up. But this is setting up like it's going to go lower. Let's screen print this real quick. I need to break that pivot low. Just break that pivot low. Did I get suckered in? Oh, it's possible. Let's take a look. All right. So looks like this one's going to move. And ideally, what we want to see is we want to see that 8 moving average break. And again, now we're counter trend trading. So even though that's a great zone, we didn't get the entry off the original move. Got the entry off a confirmation off the break of the candle, which I got in tiny bit too early. we now need to fight all the moving averages going up from the 1 minute 21 moving average right there to the 5 minute 8, which is already influencing price, which really sucks because it shouldn't be happening so soon. The 15 minutes too far away, so it's not influencing. So right now, this is the chart that's affecting price. God, I'm trying to force trades. I don't trade like this when I'm solo. I'm trying to make trades happen. I guess this is how the XLT instructors feel when they're in front of a room of people and they're like, okay, we got to make something happen. You're talking about the 480-minute chart, 480-minute chart. Let's take a look at that. Yes, 40-minute chart. That is definitely a bullish candle without a doubt. You know, most days when I'm setting up my orders in the morning, I'm usually setting them up, leaving my zones in, setting alerts, and then working on my option stuff. And so it's really kind of strange when you're actually in the moment setting up a trade in front of people. It's kind of like disorientating a little bit, kind of like this. Yeah, it kind of makes you do things that you wouldn't normally do, which is kind of interesting. Uh, There we go. So this trade is really going to be, you know, for the purpose of breaking even on this first initial losing trade. We're now down at that moving average. It's definitely going to have some form of reaction right here, quick. And let me just pop this up so I'm looking at the same chart as you guys. There we go. So there's going to be some form of reaction here off this quick. And I know it's a small profit. It's a small move, but I want to make sure to try and get out of this trade and knock off some of that loss from the earlier trade and end up a profitable day. The goal is always to be profitable, and I might have hesitated too long here. Yeah, possibly. Yeah. Well, let's see if it gives a second push down now that I've waited so long. Damn it. Again, once again, I'm talking too much. Not used to talking out things before I do things. It really throws you off a little bit. So the CAD trade up 85. I don't think we took any other trades other than the oil trade. Oh yeah, that's right, the oil trade. All right, so we hit the target one on gold. So let's see if we can get down to a second target here on gold. We knocked off half the risk, basically made this a free trade. We've still got to break that 8 moving average. I just don't see that happening. Not in the first push, but if it does, that's just a really lucky day. In which case, this then would become a very realistic target, or somewhat realistic target. Yeah, but it's not going to happen. All right, which way are you going to go, up or down? going up. Take a breather. What's oil doing? Nothing. Copper still just chopping in that level. S&P pulled back. Looks like it's failing. And so gold's starting to go up a little bit. Really nothing to say that gold should go lower here. The 1 minute chart not working for us. 5 minute chart working against us. 15-minute chart, we're still too far away. So better to probably just flatten this trade out. Take the $20 loss. Well, what is that? On this contract, yeah. See, there's two things that could happen right now. It could push up a little bit and then do a second leg down, and that's what's called a two-leg retracement. And we don't have a close on this candle yet. And so now it's just a simple time thing. There's 35 seconds left on this candle. Will the next candle push higher and then go lower, or will it just simply break down from here? Will this just be a hesitation candle, then it goes lower, or a hesitation candle, then it goes higher? This is where the gamble comes in. It's 50-50. It could go up or it could go down. At the very least, it's a free trade, but we still, didn't, you know, work out those losses from that prior trade. So what I'm watching right now is the 1 minute chart, which is saying it's going to go higher, at least for that initial push. I'll show you what I mean. That 1 minute chart, we need to see if it holds off that moving averages. If these become active again and it starts its next poof, poof, poof back up, then we're in trouble. If it breaks down below here again, then we got a good opportunity that we could get a pretty decent profit on that last contract. And so far, so good. This is the moment of truth. We got to see these things break and ideally close below there. So one way to look at charts, I missed a nat gas entry. Oh, sure. Okay, so one way to look at charts is always like price will always push in the opposite direction most times before it moves in the direction it's desired to go. So go back to a 5 minute chart here. Not a very good example, but you can see how it pushed down first and then went up. So they pushed down, got orders, and then pushed it back up. And that's kind of how I view this. Here they pushed it up, and then they pushed it down. Then they pushed it up, and they pushed it lower. Pushed it up, then pushed it down. So on this candle right now, it's got a wick on both sides, which is why they call it doji, an indecision candle. Nobody knows for sure what it's going to do until it gives you a confident move one way or another, bullish or bearish. So back to the 1 minute. What happened? Pierced the 1 minute, the new candle opened up and pushed up. So it looks like they're supporting on those 1 minute moving averages, which means we're probably going to go higher. Or it's going to go higher, grab more orders, and push lower. If it closes as a bearish candle, which is right now, it did not, that would have been more encouraging. There was some selling, but not much. God, this is so time consuming. Options is so much easier. Let's take a quick peek here. All right, so we're flattened on that one. Knocked off a bit of the loss on the prior trade. Made a little bit off of it, and that's okay. So that's that. let's screen print this quickly. Spending so much time on this, missing opportunities elsewhere. Take that right there. Um, all right, let's just leave that. That's kind of just not doing what it's supposed to do right now. S&P, copper, oil. There's no trade setups. None of my usual trade setups. Nat gas. You trade gold? Awesome. I trade. Usually makes new highs before it respects the supply zone. In my experience, yeah. So gold likes to, the volatility likes to push out to a new high before it holds the zone. So it pierces the zones and then comes back in, um, is what you're saying. Yeah, I've noticed that with a lot of different charts. Sometimes volatility will push through 8 moving average, holding on the 5. The volatility will push through a zone before it actually respects the zone. Makes it very challenging to time entries on these ones. S&P trade's just kind of flopping here, flailing. Nat gas is actually really starting to look good here. The entry would have been down. Well, we didn't have that confirmation yet. It's another zone. Nice bounce off the moving average. S&P looks like it wants to break lower. All right, let's take a break from futures. Let's take a look at options. So this one's worked out nice. CJC's pushing good today. Not so bad. Marmona Pharmaceutical. There's that setup again. Looks better, but it's a little too far for me. Let's take a look at bearish setups. McDonald's. Who would have thought? UUP, Investco, US Dollar Index Fund. Look at that. Of course it's going down. IVR. Wow. Bearish setup. They're not paying dividend yet. 5 cents still. Crap. PMI. Let's take a look here. Okay. All right, let's take a look at IBM. Was IBM on my watch list? No. It's a nice pullback. Still trading in that range. Disney. I just never understand this company. Gold, yeah, it did pull back. Well, a little bit. Is it going to create that double top pattern? Let's go to 5. Just patience. That's one of the things about futures trading. I just don't have the patience. That's okay. Let's see here. KAM. Look at that, holding right under the 50. Hasn't broken through yet, but if it does? The amount of risk, 102, 104, $1.50. Yeah, no, I'll wait till it breaks out. Beyond Meat. Liquid. FE. It's too extended. Amaran. Nope. IVR. How is IVR on this? Definitely not. Okay, so let's take a look at Honeywell. Harbor. Look at that. What's the volume on this thing? Right into supply, right into overhead. Resistance, nope. Nope. That's a bit better. Douglas Dynamics, never heard of this company. Let's take a look at the options on it. Do they have options? Very illiquid. No bueno. CNK. Holding below that 50. Don't like that setup. These are low volume stocks here. Low open interest. Okay. Oh, there we go. Bringing in resistance. Okay. Bit better setup, but not a good location on the chart. It's got its pullback, its one leg, two leg pullback here. It's back off that 21 moving average. Looking like it's trying to get back above the moving averages here, but they're inverted. So this is maybe in a few days from now. Do they have options? They do. Whoa, it's a big spread. No qualified. Not going to take it. All right, this is a really nice setup on a weekly. Beautiful setup. On a weekly, how's our options volume on this one? Let's take a look. Yep, great options volume. High open interest in the thousands. And it's a nice setup on a daily. Looks like it's getting a bit of a pullback, but it's already broken back above, and that's okay. Which means we'd be getting in at a decent price on the options. So let's quickly Go to Interactive Brokers, pull this up on an options chain. This is STNG, Sting, Scorpio Tankers, interesting. So the 121 day, April 16, 2021 call options trading at 185, the $13 call options trading at 185 to $2 with a 54 delta. It's got open interest of 564, which is good, but I'm going to look at the $12 option, which has an open interest of 3,500 and a spread of $2.25 to $2.40, which is a 15-cent spread, which is less than 6%, and that is good for me. So I'm going to chart this, pop it up on a new chart, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. There it is. So if we look back the last few days, we could see at 245 to 265 on the option spread to $2. So it's been as low as 2 and as high as 265. We're currently in a bit of a pullback. So I would speculate then that we're kind of at the high end of the range in the options pricing. So I think we could probably get a fill at 220, maybe even 215, which would put us around this price level. So let's look at that. Let's look at the setting the price at around 215. This trades in 5-cent increments. Yeah, occasionally it does. Looks like it does. 75, 35, 7. Yep, it looks like it does. Okay, so we'll set it at 225. Right there, which would put a price. No wait, what just happened? Sorry, 215, which would put a price entry right around there. So that's what I'm going to set that at. So we're going to measure the risk from there, which means, oh, it's only a $12 stock. Didn't realize that. Just buy the stock outright. I'll buy the option. So you got 50, 70 cents of risk per contract, 50 deltas, which is $25 risk a contract. Oops, specify the account. All right. Ah, crap, I didn't screen print it. All right, let's quickly type this out. No, that's not what I wanted there. Let's get rid of that. All right. So quickly screen print this. Let's put that back up right there. Put an arrow on here first. Approximate pricing that we're looking for right there. And then bring this back up. Snip. New. So these will likely fill next week if they fill. If we get the pullback, we'll see. All right, in the meantime, let's take a peek over here. All right. So that damn gold trade, look at that. If I can see that here. And this is where, you know what, I get so nitpicky about futures trading. If I had just stuck to the plan. All right, buddy, take it easy. All right. Should have just left it. It's strange when you're in front of people, you're actually trying to micromanage things. Usually it's just put orders in and go. All right. Oh, what happened here? Euro came down to that second level. Which is messed up looking level on the chart. Don't like that. Okay. All right. 8 o'clock. I'm going to run. So I hope that was informative in some way. Unfortunately, it didn't work out quite as well as we had hoped. Should have just held that gold trade. Would have been much more productive. But that was it. So I'm going to wrap it up, get some breakfast, call it a day. No problem. I hope it was useful. We'll see if I keep these things going. It's really kind of unnerving doing this in front of people and just not really following my own plan. It's kind of, I'm starting to understand the difficulty those XLT instructors have when they're sitting in front of a room of 800 people, all scrutinizing and analyzing. Awesome. Okay, so have yourselves a great day. We will see you later, folks. See you,